It's been 3 weeks since I shared with you that box I got in the mail from Atari and PLAION that included all that new Atari stuff, those 7800 reproduction cartridges, the extension cable, some controllers, and of course the CX-78 Plus gamepad that I'm very eager to take a look at. Well, finally the embargo has lifted. I can open all these boxes, show you all the contents, we can try out the games, especially find out how this new gamepad works. I have that plus some shipping dates if you're waiting on yours to get here, all that right after this. This video supported in part by...
Playing VR, I tend to sweat. It gives me an edge. So King of Nerds happens to give me an edge too. Let King of Nerds give you the edge. Bye, King of Nerds.
Hey there, welcome back to GenXGrownUp. I'm John and I am a GenXGrownUp. Thank you so much for taking the time to click on this video. And first things first, I'm not going to play games with you and bury the lead. If you're here to find out when things are going to ship because you ordered some of this stuff, let me start with that. Now I hope you'll stick around afterwards, take a look at the contents of the box. But what we know, best estimate for shipping right now, and it's a twist, Australia is not getting the short end of the stick this time. If you're in Australia, these new products are going to be shipping estimated June 6th, just a couple of days, and the 21st in the rest of the US, Canada, wherever these are all going. So everybody that ordered them, any of these new things, the new carts, the new controllers, any of that stuff, we would expect them to be on their way to you by the 21st of June. That's this month. In Australia, a couple of weeks earlier even. Now, some of the stuff that came in those boxes, like the CX-40 Plus and the paddles, are things that we've looked at before. We reviewed them, we took a look at them. These are reissues of those things. So in this case, I want to focus on the new stuff, and that's the Repro carts, the extension cable, and the CX-78 Plus gamepad. So without further ado, let's get to the table and check them out. Now, as I indicated, I'll be focusing in this video on the new items in this shipment. It would include the 3 7800 reissues. We have Ninja Golf, Fatal Run, and Food Fight, as well as the extension cable, which we'll take a look at. I mean, it's a wire. How much do we have to see, really? The star of the show, at least for me, is the new CX-78 Plus gamepad. And my understanding is it's more than just a reissue. There have been some design elements that have been updated to make it more robust, more playable, more resilient. So yeah, why don't we get started? I think I'll start with this 5-foot extension cable for the 9-pin controllers. And I said back when the 2600 Plus was released and so many people were claiming that the cables were too short, that I thought that was part of the experience, sitting cross-legged on the floor in front of the TV to play your 2600 games. But I get it. If you have a nice man cave and you have some nice seating and you want to sit 15 foot away from the TV when you play, yeah, those cables can be kind of short, so Atari heard your cries and gave us this 5-foot extension cable as an option. So if this is what you needed or wanted to sit farther from your 2600 Plus, and you got it. Here's an Atari branded 5-foot extension cable. It has the logo on this end, on just one side, and no branding on the other end. Look, I've got my CX-40 Plus sitting here, so let's plug it in and see how well it stays plugged in. So slides in nicely, it's snug. Yeah, so I'm gonna try to pull it apart. Yeah, you gotta work pretty hard. So look, it's I mean, it's exactly what you needed, right? It's a little bulky maybe in the middle, but that's gonna be lying on the floor, I suppose. But yeah, so there is our 5-foot extension cable. Let's move on to those games. Now, I missed the 7800 when it was new because I was already onto the Atari 8-bit computers. I wasn't playing consoles at the time, so I've only played these games really in compilations. I'm most interested in how Atari handled the reissue of these games. The most notable thing I think is neat that on the back, they go ahead and tell you whether it needs a 2-button or a regular controller. Now, of course, CX-40 Plus means it can be played with either the 78 or the 40. But yeah, they've just added that since that now matters in their new ecosystem with the 2600 Plus. Why don't we start with Food Fight? Now this is a pleasant surprise that I wasn't expecting to have this little sleeve. Now I have seen some modern reissues come in a sleeve but no box, but having this inside the box, that's really neat. That's a nice way to add extra decoration on the shelf. And we also have this Repro manual, I don't know, it's got 4 or 5 pages. It's just instructions that I'm assuming that's a reprint. And inside of this little sleeve, oh, there's a nice full-size edge-to-edge label on that 7800 cartridge with nice vibrant artwork on it. Food Fight 7800 there on the end cap. Pretty standard PCB inside of there, no spring-loaded gate or anything. To me, this seems like a simple yet attractive reissue of the 7800 version of Food Fight. I expect the other two are going to have a similar treatment, but let's not wonder, let's find out. Yes, indeed, Ninja Golf got the same treatment. We have the little sleeve here with the, full color cartridge inside and a little manual, most likely a reproduction. 1990 beat 'em up. So Ninja Golf's a beat 'em up? That's news to me. All right. I look forward to learning more about these 7800 titles myself. All right, cool. Moving on. And yeah, 3 for 3, so Fatal Run again has that little sleeve, beautiful cartridge art, and then a reprinted manual. Yeah, just what you'd expect, how to play the game, strategy, scoring, you know, instructions, that part we don't like to read. What do you say we move on to that gamepad? I've been looking most forward to this gamepad for several reasons. I mean, a new controller is always fun and exciting to get your hands on for the first time. But I mean, new is relative, right? It's new to me because this was the 7800 gamepad, as I understand it, that our European friends got while we got the one that came out here in the States. And everyone says, I hear, just almost unanimously, this is way better than what we initially had. And what a great decision, I think, probably in that case, for Atari to choose this as the official 2-button controller for the 2600 Plus to play 7800 games. So let's check it out. Here we go, the new Atari CX-78 Plus controller, the 2-button controller for 7800 and of course 2600 games. It has a nice 6-foot cable on it, which is even longer than the original standard 9-pin plug on the end. And as I mentioned, this is not a controller I ever had before. It can be difficult to convey what a controller is like on video. I mean, you need to have it in your hand. The first thing I'm noticing is it's light. Light in a way, I mean, we know what it is. It's a plastic shell and a PCB in the middle. It feels quite light, lighter than I'm accustomed to a 2600 controller being, but very comparable to like what an NES controller feels like in my hand. You know, I immediately am going to question the cable coming out the side here. I'm sure that matches the original, but you know, with modern sensibilities, I might have put that out the back so you have to worry about where your hand rests on the side here. As for the joystick, you know, it already feels weird to me. I mean, a thumbstick with let's try it without the stick. With the yeah. I mean, I'm very familiar, but we all have a D-pad on any controller that we've got or any handheld device in addition to the analog sticks, and that feels great. I expect I'll probably eventually like and get used to having the thumbstick screwed in. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, there remains to be seen. There are several things about this that I've learned that they shared with me that they improved upon. Like, they used to be somewhat weak in the middle, but now it's a single PCB in the interior. It's also a little bit more rigid. The D-pad edges come out a little farther here around the side, and, well, okay, I want to try it, but yeah, I want to tear it open first. Okay, let's see. There we go. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. Let's go and just pull this out. Sneak in there. There we go. There it is. There it is. I mean, it doesn't get much simpler than that. I mean, we can see here's the two buttons. The buttons are all, I noticed that both the stick and the buttons are keyed so that they can't rotate or fall. There used to be a problem with the old ones where you could like poke in one side, they would rotate. So these are locked in place. Again, I don't have the classic one. I'm just going off of photos that I've seen. And they talk about several benefits here, including the single board structure that adds some rigidity to the overall thing, as well as how the little pads poke all the way through here so they stay well attached. Now, one thing I will note is that there's no center post here. Remember the problem we had with the CX stick on the 400 Mini? There's no center post there, but there is a center post here on the actual D-pad, so I don't think we're going to have that problem of false diagonals that we had with the CX stick. And I mean, frankly, that's all you needed on the 400 Mini CX stick to fix it, was just a little pin in the middle to keep you from being able to push hard down in the middle without any kind of resistance. So yeah, also it's simpler to work on. You can disconnect. There's a little block there to pull out, a single plug to connect it. That's it. Pretty simple. Okay, let's put it back together and give it a test drive actually playing some games. While I'm getting the gamepad all put back together, of course, I'm going to take just a second to ask you to please check out our merch store over at GenXGrownUp.com/merch. I tell you all the time that we have cool designs from, all corners of nerdery, whether it be movies or games or television or whatever you like. Everything you buy goes to benefit GenXGrownUp, blah, 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 blah. The new information is that as of today, they now sell ball caps, which is great news for me. They have both, what do they call the dad caps or the trucker caps, the two different types. All those designs you've seen that we talk about can be done on hats, which, oh no, I'm gonna have to get more places to hang my hats on the wall. Again, if you're interested in stuff like that, please pop over and check out our merch store. Would very much appreciate it. Okay, let's go play some games with that new gamepad. I have thrown in the Food Fight reissue. I've got it turned on. It's already booted up. I have the CX-78 Plus plugged in, and yeah, I know how to play the arcade game, and I'm just gonna go for it. I'm just gonna try it. Starting level 1. That's me. Oh well. Okay, I'm gonna immediately stand behind one of my statements and walk back another one. First of all, yeah, the location of this wire is irritating. If it were in the middle, I think that would be preferable. However, the thumbstick, this is the most playable this game has ever been for me. Like, I actually feel like I am in control and I know what I'm doing. Like, I usually just kind of wander around this game and have trouble doing quick turnarounds to, grab food and throw it at the chefs. But not now. Man, they're everywhere. This works phenomenally. Oh, this might be my new favorite 2600 Plus controller. Give me some bananas. Yes, we have no bananas. That is... honestly, that's great. So I just threw in Ninja Golf, which requires 2 buttons. Yeah, I know nothing about this game, but that's okay. There, I hit the ball. That was pretty easy. Oh, and now, yep, so both the buttons. That one's throwing stars, and this one's jumping. Whoa, whoa, ouch. Oh, dodge the gophers, or whatever those are. Ah, groundhogs. Yeah, Ninja, I guess this is a fighting game. Ooh, that was a giant frog, apparently? Yeah, each of these games that I'm not familiar with probably deserve and will get a full Friday plays, because this kind of looks fun, and I know nothing about it. I mean, who doesn't want to fight, you know, groundhogs and frogs and ninjas and play golf? I mean, really. But we're really talking about the controller here, and it's doing just what it needs to. It's responsive. Look, I'm kicking ninjas, and I don't know how to play this game. Yeah, someone who loves this game is screaming at me, "What are you doing? Don't kick the ninjas, or pick up the frogs," or I don't know. I assume they're bad guys. I don't know. We got some sweet cars. We got some sweet music. And a sweet controller, hopefully. Oh, let's fire some rockets. So I can see the right button is navigating down here between this inventory, I guess. Again, I didn't read the instructions yet on this game, but both buttons are working, controlling beautifully. This is kind of a sweet game. This looks like a third-person spy hunter. It looks like I could pick different kinds of weapons. Yep. Machine guns, oil slicks, all kinds of cool stuff. Forward and back, braking gas. Yeah. Ooh, come here, car. Can I shoot him? Can I shoot some cars? Ooh, yes, I can. All right. Yeah, this one definitely needs to get the Friday Plays treatment one day. All that is to say, yeah, the cartridge works great, and the CX-78 Plus is, I would expect everything that you expected it to be, and maybe even more. While we're here, I've got to try it out with a game I know how to control very well. Let's dance. I mean, Yar's Revenge needs precise control, and I feel like I'm getting it. There's my Zorlon cannon. Boom. There's not much to be upset about with this controller. My only real criticism of the CX-78 Plus gamepad is where the wire comes out on the back of the unit. In the middle would have been better for me, but look, I know, Atari can't win. If they moved it to the middle, purists would be screaming, "That's not where the wire comes out, it's all wrong." So, you know, if that's my only complaint, I couldn't find anything else that's a problem. I like this controller. You saw, I didn't think I would like the thumbstick because it was weird for me, but immediately it worked, and it worked better than I expected, and I had no desire to unscrew it and go to just D-pad. So I'm pretty happy with this, and really all those new products coming from Atari, it shows that even they are listening. Look, I don't think they planned to put out a 5-foot extension cable, but they did, and now you can get one because they're listening. You got to give them a little credit for that. Look, I will throw some links over my shoulders here and here to some other Atari coverage I've done recently. I certainly hope you found something to enjoy in this video, and I cannot wait to talk to you again next time. Bye-bye.